live. Famine Studios is live. Live and in concert. Live, and he should have cleaned the screen before he went live. Excuse me, tells himself to do that. There we go. Okay. Let me know when some people show up, because I need to get something. What's up, Bjorn? Need to get something out of the closet there. I am working on some panels and whatnot today. What's up, Fat Red? Got one started. Mostly ready to go here. Just kind of worked on it here and there. But I want to put some wires and stuff on here first. Or some pipes. So, I think that's what we're going to do today. Yeah, that sounds like a solid plan. Do a little pipe work, a little bit of duct work, a little bit of ducktails maybe. A little bit of ducktails. Yeah, we'll use that in a minute. We'll see what that looks like. Can do that. We can do some straws. Let's see what we can do with a couple of paper straws and some wooden dowels. Hi guys, happy to be here. My surprised face in the closet. Closet. I don't get it. So, what's up, Starboy? Put you guys down here. So this is the orientation that it's going to have on the wall. I already have a spot picked out for it and measured. And I feel like it needs some pipes or ductwork on here. And so I've got some of these wacky straws that people use for their piping. I'm thinking I might maybe go up and around it, but I'm not sure. So I'm just gonna think for a moment. Because, like, you know me, I love my layers. I could do something like that and just have that elevated over top of everything. But I also kind of just this time, I kind of want it to make sense. I don't know why. And the other option would be just to run like a cluster of pipes underneath it, but I don't think that's the way either. But I'll show off what I got going on here. So we've got some end caps for PVC threads. We've got a shaker from the restrictor from Spice Shaker. And that's plugged with orange EVA foam. And the centerpiece, what's up, Ant? The centerpiece there is a styrene tube that actually fit very perfectly in there. And it was just like on a whim. I was like, oh, that'd be something. Let me see if this fits in there. And it fit perfectly. So I was like, okay, well, it's in the hole. I'm not going to pull it out. We've got some layers of cereal boxes. or the same cardboard from cereal boxes, and I poked some holes in it to give it like rivet lines. We've got one of those plastic 4-packs of craft beers somebody brought to a Halloween party that I scooped the recycling and grabbed that. I've still got to cover this top bit up, and then I have the cap that went over that seasoning there. This is the interior. The gray is the interior of a computer key. That is a sew-on button snap. The other half to that sew-on button snap, the opposite piece of it, is over here. These are keys from a phone that I got on the side of the road with like, it honestly came with probably, and what would you say, probably like 100 extra keys. There were like 3 packages of extra buttons you could put on this phone that I found on the side of the road. So I've got like different buttons, sizes, shapes, colors, but I thought like it could be some type of industrial ladder, or maybe they're cooling sinks or something. Doesn't matter. It looks neat. And they all have like holes in them, so I could run wires through them if I wanted to. Some type of squeeze fruit container. I used the back or half of a Walmart old gift card from a birthday. And then I cut it and sandwiched it. And then I took a pin vise and actually bored holes through the first layer to give it some depth for rust to run down behind that, since obviously this isn't going to be rotating. A vitamin bottle, red vitamin bottle, magnesium. Does that sound right? He asks to no one. But the red, yeah, magnesium, because that's what I used for the glue container. But the red magnesium bottle, and I used some foam. You can see the layer of foam. Some more of that cereal box container. Toothpicks to make bars. Foam panel. The little black greebly is a zip tie. This was a piece off of that Lone Wolf Customs set that I got. A panel. I have fixed it there. That's that greebly that I made again from one of these bread ties. We can do another one of those if you guys are that interested in watching me do something like that. Foam panels. I took a skewer that had a center hole in it and punched in the rivets. This is from Diorama Accessories. I did a hot glue weld around it with a zip tie on that side just to add some depth, some texture, and a plastic piece from a toy, which again has, you know, rivets and ridges for just texture. You know me, I love to add texture and depth to my wall panels, ceiling panels, things to put toys in front of to take photos. Let's see. Once I'm in the hole, I'm not coming out. What's going on, Ian? How are you? Oh, no, we're not getting these crazy straw kits on the cheap anymore. I've had these crazy straw kits for 7 years. I got these when I met my girlfriend. All right, well, so we'll say 6 3/4 of a year. I got these when I met Kenny, like the 3rd week, maybe when we were out one day. I came across them. I got 2 packages of them, and that's all I've had. So I've been holding on to these. And like I said, I'm not even sure I'm going to use these right now. It would be cheaper to 3D print pipe fittings to fit on straws. It would be, honestly, it would be cheaper to do that, because those kits went fast. Once the 112 world actually found those and saw that they could use them for their gutters on buildings, they flew off the shelves. And that was back when I was doing 112, so I just happened to luck out. This is a paper straw, one of those things that I took extra from a place, you know, kind of like the stir sticks. But I'm thinking maybe, like I said, I love, you guys know me, I love a good, like, angular pipe in the way, like, over things, like it was just like an afterthought, like, oh, we have to plumb this over this stuff, and so it's like adding to it. And then this is a really big stir stick. No, this is just a pine dowel that I got from Lowe's, maybe. I think I bought a bunch of these for quite a few different projects, and I actually use these a lot in cosplay because some people are like, oh, use the fiberglass poles that you put out in your driveway in between your 2 layers of foam to make swords so that they stay rigid. The problem being is that those are expensive. They're made of fiberglass and they hurt like the dickens. I mean, this will hurt, but this hurts. I feel like wood hitting you, like this thin wood. This is what, barely a quarter of an inch thick wood, hurts way less getting whacked, even wrapped in foam, than fiberglass does, or a golf club rod. People were buying old golf clubs and cutting them and putting them in swords and stuff for their cosplay and like LARP fake weapons for their movies. I always just went with these, and I've got a bunch of them. But this is another good pipe. Actually, about the same, maybe a smidge bigger. Really big stir stick is what they called you in high school. Didn't you go to an all-boys high school? Anyway. So, let's see here. How do I want to do these? Maybe I don't want to use these. Maybe I want to, like... Nope, don't like that. This is quite honestly like what building this was, you know, on a couple of my 15-minute breaks, and then I did this the other night after work. I needed to unwind, but I needed to do something artsy with my hands that I could kind of go mindless on. So, my main problem with these is that none of them... None of these pieces have the angle close enough to the fat splayed end there, so that when I attach it to the surface, it looks like it's like a piece of plumbing coming out. I don't have any PVC that small. I don't have any styrene tubes that I could heat up. I don't even think I have big... I can look to see if I have big straws and maybe make something. Bjorn, if it was a homeschool and you were the only kid there, it doesn't count as a private school. It just counts as you were the only student. What's up, Audi? I do have a Bic pen, but I also don't know that I want to fire bend that way. Let me start the pipe horizontally and put the bend diagonal about the third way along. Empty mechanical pencils. No, I was actually looking at getting some of those. Adam Savage uses them. It's like the end of the pencil is much... It's a mechanical pencil. It's much thinner down here, so you're able to get into spaces easier, because I use regular yellow pencils or carpenter pencils. It's what I grew up having in the house. It's what I'm used to. But I've noticed that as I start to do like more... I'm not like Fat Red, who will, like, he does all his drawings out and everything in his schematics, but as I'm like doing things where I need to put it on paper and show people or get in somewhere to make a mark, having that narrower, longer pencil looks like it might benefit me. But no, to answer your question, I'm sorry, I don't have any mechanical pencils kicking around. I'm thinking here. I could make some epoxy and just make the thing. That sounds like work. Let me see what I've got for bigger, excuse me, bigger pencils or pencils, plastic tubes. Plastic tubes, Fab, those are called straws, sir. What, you never been to straw school before? Don't have anything big, but I do have some styrenes. Oh. Mamma mia. Too big, but useful. That's what she said. She never said that. Jason gave me these a while ago. And I think that I can cut up some of these sprues or pipe pieces and arrange them in such a way that it looks like there's some plumbing going on here. What else I got in here? Oh, that's right. I bought these to make little flags. Got some styrene sheets. I've been sitting on these things. Really should use those. See, I need to have a day, and by a day, I probably mean multiple days because I know me, and I'll get waist deep into the project and get overwhelmed. But like where I put all of my materials, maybe in a shelf here, so that I can see what stock I have of like plastic and things, because I will work and completely forget about them until I go rummaging for things. My evergreen H columns, my various sheets of thicknesses of evergreen plastics. Again, forgot about those, but I bought those to make flags. All right, let's see what we can do with some sprues and some HO scale piping. Yeah. First thing we'll do is we'll cut that. Okay. Anybody else get banned from using the Facebook chat feature today? Because I sure did, for no reason. They said I was trying to phish somebody's account information by, like, social engineering. And honestly, I can't figure out what the French fuck they think I was doing or when I was supposedly doing this. But they were like, no, famine. You can't enjoy social conversations amongst your friends. So, I mean, I have pissed off enough right-wingers on Facebook, like people that are absolutely out of their goddamn mind, racist and hateful. So I probably caught a stray from that, and somebody said I was trying to phish for their account information. But I twasn't. 'Twas not, sir. I love the idea of this being like this, but also, where would this go? This would have to go like, okay, I see. All right, I'm going to do some clever puzzle work here. Talk amongst yourselves. it there either, because that takes away from that. As cool as that would look. Let's see here. Oh, I see why. Okay. Yeah, there's a gentleman. Yeah, that'll work. All right, cool. Actually, to believe. Let's see here. Okay, where are you? And I'm so sorry. I think I did this once before, but I guess we're gonna find out. Fluff around and find out, boys. Yep, this is the perfect size too. Doop. That's because I've been switching your medication with marbles. So you've just been ingesting marbles, that's all. That's all that is. Perfect. So I created a little socket out of the bracket that those are just supposed to glue up against. See, it's full. It's just got a tiny little lip, but no, instead I cut into the pipe or cut into the bracket and fed that through. If I wanted to be fancy, I could also... I've lost my marbles. I could also go all the way through and like slide one down and then put one down there, but I'm not going to do that because I simply don't want to. Which I think personally is a good enough reason. Good enough. That means this will go. We want this to go like this over here. Cool. See what I'm saying? And then we'll just choose the spot to cut that off, which I think will be right there. Yeah. Fire in the hole. Okay. Perfect. Now we'll take the other two pieces that we just had and we'll trim those up because it comes with 4, because there's 4 posts. But I just want this. It's a nice end cap. I am completely out of sanding sticks, and I don't want to go to the dollar store tomorrow because everybody's going to be like, I'm going to go get my Thanksgiving stuffs tomorrow, last minute. So I'm just rocking a used one. Black Friday sales, intending to do a new Mando custom. Hey, there you go. Sometimes a good figure is just a good goddamn figure, and then you wind up wanting to use the thing. That's what happened with my Kanan. Because I was like, oh, I'll get Kanan, but I'll use him for custom. And then I liked the damn thing as Kanan so much, I went and ordered another one just so I could use it to make a custom. Because I was like, damn, I like this figure a lot. Bjorn, didn't you get like 6 of those Revens? I feel like you got a copious amount of Revens. Like you were wealthy in Revan. Like if it was crypto, you'd be doing all right. Jedi Revens, okay. I was long deceased once in another timeline. Then a portal opened up and somebody saved me from myself. Kept me alive, kept me in the fight against the machines. Let's see here. Because we want this to... I don't think I want this to punch through, but I want it to be snug. So let's see, we go bloop bloop. And it'll look like this. Yep. Hell yeah. That's what's up. Alright, so let's get some glue on this thing. Me this way? Or do I want it this way? No, I want it this way. Alright. All right, we're getting somewhere, kids. I think this is actual kit bashing. I think this is what this qualifies for as. No, wait, these are the same pieces from the same kit. I'm just using it for something else. I guess it doesn't count as kit bashing then. Mother was right about you. Let's make sure that this really bonds. Very bonds. And Daryl Strawberry. Yeah. That seems reasonable. Okay. And we just sneeze. Woo. All right. Whew. Sorry. Okay. Now, because I am a glutton for punishment, I'll just use a piece of cord for that. What are you doing? What are you? Did I make you into something? Was this something I made at one point? This looks like something I made. See if I can get the torch to work. Why won't you light? Why don't you love me? Typical. When you need the fire technology to work. All right. I don't want to do this. Yeah, I actually shouldn't put that on there anyway until the goddamn paint dries, so I'll just have to go get a lighter from the other room. But I want to get some primer on this. Let's put these away. Look at that, guys. We did a thing. We did a science. Fuzzball there. We did a science. We did a little bit of technology and math. I should glue that down there. That'd be pretty cool.
It'd be pretty cool if I did that, huh? Yeah?
Alright, since it's raining outside, we'll do ye old Mod Podge, because I don't feel like going outside and trying to... Nope, wait, we still got to cover that up. That's easy. We'll use our old friend, back of box. Maybe I don't want to cover it up. Let's prime it and see what it looks like. You can't be hungry, stomach. I just fed you macaroni and cheese and ham. You know, all the ingredients that a growing body needs, according to the food pyramid. Alright, and you guys are like, Famine, why are you mixing paint into the Mod Podge? Shout out to Jeremy from Black Magic Craft for teaching me this to seal like foam, because this is foam, but also to get a uniform coating of primer on things like this. You do this so you can see as it dries if you've missed any spots. And also, it's a great base layer. Oh yeah, and I've got some more Famine Studio stickers, so holler at me if you guys are interested in those. I do 3 for $5. I usually send more than 3 because I don't know how to count. But you can just message me or whatever, and we'll get you set up in time for the holidays. Put them on your car. Put them on somebody else's car. I don't care. Put them on your mailbox, your neighbor's mailbox. Wear them as pasties. I don't care what you do. People seem to love them. Pasties, that is. I know that Anthony's worn them as pasties more than once. I know because I keep getting the pictures. Along with the caption, "There's no way to tell I'm cold. LOL, these are great." Very strange times. I'm not unappreciative. Just saying. Go get that in there. Excuse me, sturdy stickers. I got a sturdy sticker from a girl back in 2022. I tried to say 2022, and it came out as 2022. What's up, Doc? Famine Studios is having a strunk live on the air. Yes, I did sand these plastic pieces that are usually of the smoother plastic variety. It is tough to smooth the inside of them, especially because I have the dexterity of a corpse these days, if I'm being honest. My hands are not what they used to be. I think I have some carpal tunnel that I need to get looked at this year. You know, with healthcare costs increasing, I think now is the time to take care of my my main source of income, which is, you know, typing for my job and then making art so I don't go crazy. I think, you know, waiting until now was the ideal move. But I did do my best to get the sanding stick in there and try and create an abraded surface for paint adhesion. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. Anybody else working on anything fun tonight? Anything cool? They may be extending the Affordable Care Credit Act, but my insurance is going up. I already signed up for my policy because they were like, I gotta refresh your policy before the end of November, or else you can't have the insurance because somehow insurance only comes around once a year, like Santa Claus, lol. Yeah, my policy's going up. And I'm single. Day 4 of cleaning workshop. Is that like, you guys doing something like Figtober, where y'all clean up your workshops? Ian, do you have something in mind that you would be working on? Gargoyle milking farm. Putting together slave one while you should be making signs. Hell yeah. I did get this down. We do have a gargoyle milk, guys. We're going to get some gargoyle milk. When we say milking, yes, we do. You weren't here last week when Fat Red Foo gave me $5 to milk a gargoyle. So, listen, things happen when you're not around. You leave me alone, this is what happens. Adam, I got banned from Facebook Messenger for some reason. So, you can tell Sarah to just reach me on the old Instagram machine, I guess. I pissed off the right wingers and they got me in jail, in Facebook chat jail. Not Facebook, mind you, just Messenger. I want to make some weird commercials and videos for Gimmick Radio. That's something I need to work on this winter. Is ultimately I would like to have a playlist or a stream, like a 24-hour stream on YouTube. And I got kicked off Facebook, and it's crazy. I have enough family on there where I would like to not be kicked off Facebook. I don't necessarily love the service, but I also have done a lot of good work there that I've been helping communities with resource and outreach and things like that, and I have some connections to the writing community and a lot of a lot of stuff going on there. But it's just this local nitwit who used to run the sticker company here became a MAGA grifter and said about how, he's done so much for the community, and then proceeded to close his business, ship all the labor over to China, and go ahead and, put up a giant glowing Trump sign on top of one of the biggest buildings in town, and also open a President Trump Park for Peace in town. So I knew a dirty little secret about him, and he made his big campaign announcement, and the local news picked it up, and some of the people were coming to his defense. And I just simply explained that, when his father passed away, he inherited a large amount of money, and he put that money into his campaign, and also put that money into his own pockets instead of investing it into his own business. And I made that known because, well, hey, you're political now. You're not only are you political with like the messages and stuff where you lost all your business because people didn't want the owner of the company saying, I feel threatened for my life because I spoke out in favor of the Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Your life was never in danger. And now you've taken that money that you inherited from your parents, and you used that money that they gave you, and you funded your little political campaign. So I just explained I explained to the people that, hey, maybe this is mom and dad's money that's also paying for this. And boy, did that make some people mad. But it also opened up a lot of people's eyes, because I also knew that he moved to North Carolina to get away from New York after he sent all his labor across because he wanted to avoid the taxes. Oh, sneaky. Little secrets. And so I shared that because, again, if you're going to run for Congress in my state and you're going to be doing shady shit, and you've left the county, the state, and the community, and took your tax money elsewhere for a couple of years after you kicked all your workers out of their jobs and sent their work overseas, you don't get to come back and talk about how much you've done for the community and how great your business was for the area without consequences. Sneaky, Robert. But I let some people know, and then lo and behold, all of a sudden, I got restricted because I guess I was trying to get people's login information through my Facebook Messenger account, which there's none of that. I was literally speaking with Adam, and I said, time to go see the Hat Man. And then when I came back to message him again, they were like, nope, you can't fucking do that anymore, buddy. Oh, we're on to you. I was like, oh, apparently I've done a crime. And that's the crime, guys. Apparently I was trying to get people's Facebook login information. But yeah, if anybody's watching this and you're like, what do you mean, this sticker mule guy is MAGA? Yeah, he's a grifter. And then in his campaign announcement video, he literally tried to speak and mimic the president's speech patterns and hand gestures and everything. And it was very embarrassing. Like, he was doing the invisible accordion when he was talking, and I like to blah, 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 like that. So, some goddamn Hat Man. Clayton. No. What the fuck's his name? He was the CEO of Sticker Mule. I can't remember his stupid little name. I just know an unusual amount about him because he started messaging him. And yes, I used to use him because none of us knew the owner's politics because he kept his goddamn mouth shut. And for the longest time, he was donating to other political parties. That's the weird part, is like all of a sudden he just wants Donald to notice him. And it's very strange and shows signs of mental illness, if we're being honest. But I digress. I do love that his campaign photo that the news decided to roll out, though, is a picture of him looking like he's 15 years old at the state fair. He's just a little guy. He's just a little guy. And, Adam, I put salt around the computer, so I don't know how the Hat Man got out or got into the World Wide Web. Ew, I put my fingy in it. And yeah, so I pissed off the correct people. Put the salt inside the keyboard. Son of a bitch. Yeah, that sounds right. But yeah, he's just a baby. He's just a little guy. He's very scared. He's very scared now after the president got his ear boo-boo. He's very scared. He started sending like messages through the like emails to people that used his service, which again, because he was a very different person, or so everybody thought, nobody was concerned. And then all of a sudden he started sending out these crazy political emails in his sticker companies, like, hey, here's an announcement, here's a sale email. And it became this community and I for my staff and I are afraid to voice our opinions and da 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 da. And then I heard from people who were on his staff before they found out what type of fucking greedy fuck he was. And they're like, yeah, no, none of us were scared unless we were standing next to him. And also he fired people during COVID, heckled them for wearing masks and taking safety precautions when people were actually infected and sick at the factory that he made come to work. So it was a whole thing. Did you try just eating the pieces and then pulling like a Daffy Duck and spitting them out as one whole slave one? I'm going to tell you right now, don't do that. Never works out well. Ooh, it's so big. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Sorry.
You got me all fired up, Robert.
Yep, we got a daisy hair. Get the hell out of there, hair. No, that's hot glue. That's just a strand of hot glue. What up, guys? I am working on a panel. Currently, I'm Mod Podging and Mod Podging the surface to prime the whole thing and just make sure that everything gets covered, everything that's cardboard or foam gets a coating on it. So when I start applying paint, I don't have any issues with adhesion and whatnot. Because we want a nice little, we want a grippy grip. We want purchase and tooth. So I'm just slapping this this concoction on here. Making sure we get into both the nooks and the crannies. And you can see I'm kind of just like manhandling this thing and tilting it and twisting it and just making sure we get in all the secret places. Keep it secret, keep it safe. So that when we when we start painting this bad boy. We get maximum adhesion, maximum gription, maximum carnage. I don't know. Better pizza, better ingredients, Papa John's. Which is not legal pizza, Travis, if you're watching the replay, because I know you like to catch these replays on Saturdays. Papa John's is not legally pizza. It is not recognized by the Commission of New York State or New Jersey. Get out of here. It's not pizza. Not even an emergency. Like, oh no, we need an emergency pizza. Not Papa John's. That's not fucking pizza. That's like if you were like, hey, you ever see a pizza before? And someone's like, oh yeah, I saw one on TV. Do you think you could replicate it and sell it? I don't know, I could try. And could you be really sweaty about it too? Definitely. That's what that is. Building right now. Nice. What kind of building are you making? And yes, Adam, pizza, Papa John's is fucking trash and it's not actually pizza. Well, for starters, anybody who makes a homemade pizza is fucking leagues above Papa John's. I don't care if Shaq bought it and is trying to save it and turn it around. Their pizza's still hot trash. It's not even like, oh, like Little Caesars is good, bad pizza. Like it's really shitty pizza, but it's a good, bad pizza. Papa John's is like, I would rather not eat. You know? I'd rather say no thank you, Papa. No thank you. I don't want your pizza. I don't want your John's. I don't want your ingredients. No thank you, sir. I said no thank you. Break tiny rims on one good leg for a fresh New York pizza right now. Street scene. Nice. Yeah, Caesar's Pizza was god tier in the 90s because they were fucking one of the very few in the game that was making pizza that actually remotely tasted like pizza because they discovered that they could fucking put oregano and garlic in things. But like now it's not even, I guess Little Caesars like the last, I'll give Little Caesars credit where it's due. They are affordable. Still, they've somehow managed to keep affordability. And their CEO paid Rosa Parks' rent for her entire life, so cool by me. But yeah, their pizza is affordable. You still get a reasonable amount of food for the cost. It's hot and ready. I give them that. It does live up to the name. Is it good? Well, it's hot and ready. But is it good? It's hot and it is ready. Sans sauce. Oh yeah, I remember you got that pizza with no fucking sauce on it. How did that even happen? Do you think that somebody had ordered it without sauce and you just happened to get the same, like pizzas came at the same time, so they just accidentally boxed yours up with theirs and that person was furious that there was sauce? That person was sitting there at home like, I fucking told these people 28 times I didn't want any goddamn sauce, and here's my pizza with sauce, and you're over there like, where the fuck is the sauce on this pizza? DoorDash Drive gave you the wrong shit. Yeah. So somewhere, some guy was losing his tits because his pizza had fucking sauce on it. That was his 13th reason. Immediately after that, he just anheroed. He was shouting at his wife and kids like it was their fault somehow. You were right there, Thomas. I told the man on the phone. I said no sauce. I said it 3 times because you were screaming at me. Maybe he couldn't hear because you were yelling. I'll give you something to cry about, Dolores. My name's Diane. Mother was right. I'm taking the kids to stay with her tonight. You're not taking my kids anywhere. You're going to sit here and watch this. You're going to sit here and watch this. Oh my God. Kids, go upstairs. Go upstairs. Mommy has to get a carpet. And then, like, the wife, she's relieved, but also scared now. Because she was, living off of his Social Security checks because he hurt himself at the factory that one time and got disabled. She couldn't work because he wouldn't let her. So she makes the brave move and she gets him into a carpet and rolls him up and takes him out in the backyard. And the neighbors hear, but they don't say anything. They dare not. And she seems happier now in life. And the checks keep coming in, but one less mouth to feed. She's happier and she's able to start, buying groceries and cooking again. She finds a love for life. And she takes care of the kids and life's better. And the kids, every once in a while, they say, Mommy, where's Daddy? What happened? And she says, he had to go away for work. He finally got a job and he mails the checks and, nobody ever asks too many questions or looks too close because he was a menace in the neighborhood. And it really just, things worked out that way. All because Adam ordered a regular ass pizza and that guy got the wrong pizza. You helped your community. Thank you. That was my best, like, Stephen King, very abbreviated Stephen King story about a family that accidentally watches, the father and hero himself. He said that took a turn. They call me the Stephen King of world building, so I just, sometimes you got to go with it. Gypsy curse for your sins. If you hadn't stolen from their goddamn caravan years ago, wouldn't be a problem. Allegedly. Get this here. Just gonna mute you for a sec, guys. Did you guys see me? Did you guys see me use that and I blew the gargoyle? Did you guys see it? saw it. I saw the sun. It opened up my thighs. I saw the sun. What is that not? Is that not how the Ace of Base song goes? Blue Bubba the Gargoyle. Hey now. Hey, they never called me a gargoyle. Never got called Gargling Bill. You know what I mean? They did, however, call me Slick Willie. That's a nickname that always stuck. I can hear Daisy snoring in the kitchen. Little sighs. Sorry, I just dusted that gargoyle. Let me dust my gargoyle. I'm coming over there and I'm going to dust my gargoyle all over your countertop. I don't know where I get these ideas from. Honestly, guys. Now we're going to knock things over. We're going to give this a quick coating of Folk Art Matte Licorice. Some of you may ask yourselves, Famine, why didn't you just use that as another, coating on there? And I'll tell you why. Because again, primer. Now first layer of paint. All right, is that okay with you? Do not like licorice, wouldn't even buy it in paint form. Okay, so I'm not to send you licorice for Christmas? Breaking news. Site C hates licorice. More at 11. It's broken, people. He gave me $50 in a joint too. I don't personally care for black licorice at all. I don't think that it belongs in my kitchen or my pantry, and that's that. It's not for me. If people enjoy it, that's cool, but I get people constantly that try and convince me that if I just eat enough of it or try this brand or that brand that I'll like it. And it's like, no, it's the anise or anise, however you want to say it, anise, whatever flavor that I just don't like. It's kind of like how some people who can't eat cilantro because to them they have the soap gene. I have the fucking black licorice is gross gene. We're going to try, no, because then that's how I wind up with a fucking mouse. The Rat King moves in because I laid a temple for him out of Twizzlers. Nope. Absolutely not. No Rat King. I'm going to make a point to watch that again this year, or listen to it at least as the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. The Nutcracker Suite. But when Famine does it, it's called the Nutcracker 2 Suite. See what I did there, guys? From the ballet who made me the 3-tier wedding cake when I had the bakery. Did she pay you for the said cake? Because I swear, if this is another story where somebody didn't fucking pay you for your baking, I'm gonna find them, and I'm gonna fucking make her pay you. I'll get my top people from Wolfram and Hart and have them pay her a visit. Showed up with another bag of nutcrackers to go on the cake. Wanted to seal chalk. You would do a spray with a top coat, preferably matte, from a far distance away. So like, if I was sealing it and I was spraying it, I would and let the mist fall and let it dry, and then come back and do another coating of it a little bit closer, and you'll get a good seal. And you have to make that noise with your mouth or it just doesn't work. It is part of the process. Oh, God. So they put it under a heat lamp? That's special. That's certainly a choice. That's like people ordering an ice sculpture and taking it outside. So black light responsive chalk would be cool to grind it and fill in cracks and seal. Well, if you're grinding it up and putting it in cracks, water, Mod Podge. Grind it up into a slurry, drop it into the cracks. Yeah. Yeah. That's like ordering an ice sculpture, though, and being like in the middle of the summer and being like, well, your ice sculpture melted. You need to come here and fix this. Motherfucker, it's ice and you had me put it outside. What did you think was going to happen? Ice is supposed to stay cold. How are you alive? Who dresses you in the morning? Who feeds you and makes sure you drink enough water? I'll never forget that. The one day my grandpa was working at the Home Depot and I went to see him at work. And I was there visiting him, and this customer comes up and asks my grandpa just like a litany of stupid questions. And my grandfather goes, who makes sure you get enough sunlight and water? He's currently in prison for embezzling money and funneling it through her charity. Oh, that lady! Oh, I remember that! Ha! That's funny. Get in on that lawsuit. Loss of business because she melted your cake. Yeah, I remember. I seen that cake melt, and I said to myself, I said, I ain't ordering from him. He makes a cake that melts. Them little soldiers was doing kamikaze missions off the side of the goddamn cake there, man. You can't sell people that type of cake. Absolutely no. Absolutely no. Then come tell to find out, she did it, and she was then stealing from the church, running money through her charity. That's called embezzling. I thought embezzling was when you like had a lot of beer, you embezzle it down, like kind of like guzzling. I thought it was a bigger word, or maybe like a Roman or an Italian word. Nope, turns out it's actually a thing you go to the prison for. So we find that out together, me and my wife. And then before that, we thought embezzling was what, you know, my cousin Ronnie would do when he'd tell a story. He'd talk about his fish. He got a big old fish, and he'd be like, "Oh, it was 27 inches long, and it was the heaviest bass that they ever seen here in Bucks County." And then I just said to him, "Rodney, you stop embezzling your tails. Nobody believe you caught a 28-inch smallmouth here. Is the biggest the state record here in Bucks County. Nobody believes that. Stop embezzling the story." But it turns out, no, I was wrong. I was wrong. Public school. That and my mama made me leave in 8th grade so that I could go work on the farm. She used to say, you know, the tobacco ain't gonna pick itself. You need to get out there and get yarn. But see, I'm still learning. I don't know where these characters come from. Amalgamations of people that I've known or have heard or have met. Things that I've seen online. I'll still never forget that commercial, that interview back in what, 81, 82, when they made seatbelts mandatory. People crying that they had to wear seatbelts, and then they banned drinking and driving the next year. And just the people crying that they couldn't crack open a few beers on the way home from work and all this other shit. Thought this was a free country. All right, Jasper, calm the fuck down. You can't drink a beer and a half on the way home from work. There's a reason. Wrecks keep happening. They're not going away. Damn it, I could have had something for buttercream. The hoodbirds must be fed batteries, or they cheaper than this. Okay, about 10 minutes ago, but my meds wore off. Oh, I get it. You would have made a dirty joke. Ah, buttercream. Cake. Ah. I get it. I get it now. You were gonna make a dirty joke. He was gonna make a dirty joke. Ha. All right, one more time with the hair dryer, and then I can start dry brushing some silvers. Because you know me, I love to dry brush my silver. Right. Right, we're gonna go with the old big. Actually, this is probably my medium. Medium fluffy. And we're gonna go with a. Let's go gun. Yeah, we'll go with gunmetal to start. Okay, here. Just get that. Get out of there. Skedaddle. Splooge. All right, and then I'm just going to. You guys know me. Start kissing surfaces. Because we want to get a nice metal base level. Make things look like they are indeed made out of metal. And certain things will come back and paint different colors and add chipping and weathering and get out of there. I don't know what that is. Get. Piece of paper. ASMR. Fat man breathes heavy while dry brushing. Dry brushing. I like that. It's already starting to pick up. It's metallic. That's good. Nice. I like that. I like that. Starting to look good. Hit this area with just a little bit more. Hell yeah. Anybody have tomorrow off, or do you all have to work tomorrow like I do? Because I've got to work tomorrow. If you don't have to work tomorrow, you have to work. I don't like that for you. I don't like that for anybody, honestly. Especially on the biggest party night of the year, the biggest night the most alcohol is consumed, more than New Year's Eve. That's got nothing tomorrow. Yeah, that's coming out fucking sick. Huh. Keep doing that. I'm gonna put a little more on there. Where are you? To be fair, the reason you also have to work is due to alcoholism. Those regulars aren't going to drink themselves to death. 3 in a row off, but no. Why would I have that? Well, you shouldn't have said yes. You would have had 4 in a row, wouldn't you have? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Oh, I see what you're... I got you. I don't know how to read or count, so... I started badgering my supervisor today on our Christmas/yearly bonuses that they try and get to us before Christmas. And by the 18th is hopefully when we should all find everything out and know everything. I said, hey, I missed the last meeting because I was out. So what's the score? When do we find out? And he tells me, hey, watch out. Keep an eye on your inbox till, we'll get some more information out to you guys, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, yeah, I can't read. That's been my whole thing today. Anytime somebody asks me to do something outside my purview, just, I can't read. Am I proud of that? No. No. Can I read? Absolutely. Thai food. Nice. Pad Thai? Thai bomber? Tie-dye? When you're sleepy, are you tie-tie? And that's just the base layer of gunmetal. I like that. Oop. All right. Let's use the last of this gunmetal up on these bars. Around the bars. Some nondescript part that would fall off your car on the ride home. I'd have to add some more rust to it, but yeah, it does. It looks like this could be like a 1-1 panel. If somebody was building a sci-fi room, like they could just stick this somewhere, have a light shining on it, or put an LED in there and call it good. But I want to, you guys know me, I have the self-control of a 5-year-old, so I'm going to continue my fuckery on this thing. So let's go, let's keep that brush, let's get that out of there. And let's go with some wrought iron. And we're just going to do the wrought iron on this ring here and this thing. There we go. This unit here is going to be wrought iron, and this ring around the bars is what I'm going to hit with wrought iron or rough iron. And for that, I'll use a different brush. I'll use this brush here because it's smaller. It'll allow me to navigate a little bit easier. There we go. So we'll just because this piece in particular here that I'm working on now with the grate will probably have the most rust because it's you know, I'm just in my looking at this. This is either letting out air or taking in air, but this would be like some overflow for some type of thing. So moisture is obviously gonna collect, drip down. So same with over here. I figure this is some type of ventilation system. So I figure just having the different color will really help make the rustiness pop when I do that a little bit later. Give it the old rusty pop. I think Justin Timberlake sang about that once. Rusty pop. Or was that Dr. Seuss? Can never tell those two apart. Here's the first and only time Justin Timberlake's ever been compared to Dr. Seuss. I can tell you that right now. Just picks up a different color. Just helps look different, even from the side and the angle. Looks like maybe that collar, that metal collar, is made of something different type of metal. Maybe some space age fucking polymer. We don't know. We don't know. We just work here, right, guys? And this guy. Anyone? Just Timberlake era. Adam did have the Justin Timberlake era down pat. I still do love the Ricky Martin shirt, though. because it was upside inside out. Living La Vida Loca. A little bit more rough iron. Bloop. We all love Ricky Martin. Hey man, Livin' La Vida Loca is a fucking banger of a song. And Hero, also banger of a song. And I could be your hero, baby. And I could kiss away the pain. And I would stand by you for fucking ever. Sorry. You can take my breath away. My angel bee. Have I lost my mind? It's funnier if you sing it like Dracula. And I can be your hero, baby. I will kiss away the pain. Hero is Iglesias. Oh, I guess I don't know. They sound the same to me. All those fucking singers sound the same to me. It's a very weird time in my life. I'll just say that. Timberlake era, do you mean being the other gay guy in the band staying in the closet while the other guy gets the heat and taking out your repression angst on every girlfriend since 2009? I don't think that's what he means. We'll do this ring with a little bit of the rough iron. There we go. The eye visually likes things in threes. So I just made this extra ring down at the bottom, the third thing. Boom. All right, cool. So got that. Let's see what other metallics we can utilize. We have a lot of silvers. Let's get that wrought iron out of the brush. I don't want to use copper specifically for this. I don't want to use copper. But let's see, we use gunmetal. So let's do a bit of shining silver. Specifically because we only have so much of it left. Again, running low. Oh, see, fuck. Now I gotta use a lot of it. Son of a bitch. That's all right. Again, it's like Dan Does says, you take your expensive paint and you put a lot of it on a paper towel. I'm just gonna hit the high points on these ladders, maybe? Risers? Who the fuck knows? Cooling elements. That just makes those stand out a little more. Try sucking it back in. Sir? Adam's Britney, bitch. Alright, let's see here. Go this one, hit it with a little stainless, or with shining silver. Just get right here. And, you know, take a little bit on here. What's the deal with stand-up comedy? And the entire audience is sitting down. They should call it sit-down comedy. By the way, Jerry Seinfeld dated a 16-year-old when he was in his 30s. What's the deal with that? Did I say something bad about the comedian? Naughty, naughty, famine. I'm a saucy one today, guys. All right. Okay. Just trying to pick where I want the light to hit, or where I think the light would hit, because I don't know how the light's gonna work over there. Could just not. So just trying to pick out a few things, make certain things sparkle, make certain things seem more subdued. Yeah, all right. Now we'll move on to some colors. I think we can get some reds on here. I think red and yellow. Well, I think we're gonna focus on red first. Gotta wash these brushes tonight. Gargoyle out of the way. Let's see. Let's do. Subdue. No. I don't know. Maybe I am. I just work here again. I just work here. All right. Mindless self-indulgence. And I'm just painting. I'm painting as close to the edge as I can get by still leaving a little bit of the silver there showing. I think that's a cool weathering technique. I think so. My old coworkers would get that one. We'd all have a laugh. Okay. So I'm keeping to my precious rule of 3. Just 3 spots of that color. Helps keep it visually interesting without being too overwhelming. And you can break the rule. Rules are made to be broken. I just work here. I can almost guarantee I'll never always follow that rule. Try and suck up some paint. Yeah, you like that? This what you're into, Red? Yeah. Like paint sucking action. You freak. This guy likes sucking paint. Paint sucking. Old paint sucker over here. I'm a bad friend. While we were out at the Tiki pop-up in New York City, because it was a Christmas themed one, they had Home Alone 2 Lost in New York playing. And fucking movie gets me every time, man. Like very few movies could get remade today. Nope, fuck that up. That's all right. Very few movies could get remade today and still hold up the way, or even get made today and still hold up the way that Home Alone does and Home Alone 2 does. And I think that's part of it was the cast. I think a lot of it was the cast. But also, like, you couldn't make a movie like that today, and not because of woke or whatever fucking bullshit that people in Hollywood would come up with, but, like, you couldn't have a movie about a kid getting left behind while his family went on holiday because fucking we're so connected at the hip. And then the neighbors would just go next door, and even with the power outage and everything, like somebody would get there and find the kid because there's cell phones and all that other shit. But goddamn, does that movie still crack me up. You guys give up, or are you thirsty for more? Let's see here. Here we go. I just mopped up that mistake that I made. Like my mama should have mopped me up when she had me. Bags of food for $20. Yeah, that always stood out, even now, or even when I was younger, like going to get all those groceries for that cheap always stood out to me. But like, it's just weird. Somebody posted one of those things where it's like, if you can remember this, you're now blank age when this person was this, and it was like if you remember seeing Home Alone or you remember the movie Home Alone, you're now the same age that Marv was when the movie was filmed. And it's like don't share that information. Like I don't want to know that in my life. That should be kept private. Eggs, milk, fabric softener, macaroni and cheese. He got the Kraft macaroni and cheese because he had that for dinner. And didn't he get like ice cream or something too? You guys give up or are you thirsty for more? I also got a kick about how like he finds Buzz's girlfriend and she's a perfectly fine looking young lady. Very plain, just normal looking young girl. And fucking he woof. Like, dude, you're fucking 6. Shut up. You don't know what a woman's supposed to look like. You don't know. Just be quiet, Macaulay Culkin. Now discontinued Gator chips. Thought you lost an essential piece. What piece was it by chance? Yeah, people, dude, fucking, we're all older than the cast of Cheers, but we all look younger than the cast of Cheers because they were all fucking ridden hard and put away wet. Jesus Christ, those people looked fucking ancient when they were young. And it wasn't like that. The argument could be made for the hairstyles and stuff for like some of the female actresses, but the men, god damn, like they all looked so ancient and fucking haggard. What color? Maybe some orange somewhere around here? No, I don't think orange. I don't think I need any more colors. I think now I should just switch to straight up just doing my rust thing. But first, let's get a toothpick and get some of the silver paint that we got here left over. And we'll start our weathering, but we want to go back and pick out. I did rivets on here, little dimples. And I want them to show up. Show off my hard work. So I'm going back in with a little bit of the silver on this toothpick and just picking out those holes, pushing the toothpick in. I keep wanting to say Q-tip. There we go. Just stupid little details like that. I live for this shit. Like, sometimes I beat myself up, like, I'm like, you know, why are you spending so much time doing this stupid thing, or, you know, doing these little details and stuff, and then I, like, look back at my work and I'm like, oh, that's why I spent an extra half hour doing, like, scratch details and putting little dots and dabs and little graffitis and layering stickers and layering dirt and stuff. It's just like, I always try and convince myself that I'm not working as fast as I should be or getting as much done, but then I look at the amount of work that I put into my pieces and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, like, that's why I do this. So I need to get out of that mentality of, like, must move faster to keep up with, or, you know, meet an arbitrary goal that I may have set for myself for, like, a timetable. Because at the end of the day, I'm not racing anybody else but myself. I don't know. There's probably a life lesson there somewhere. I don't know what it is, but probably one there. And I'm just taking this edge of this Q-tip or toothpick, son of a bitch, and I'm just picking out some of the high edges on these steps, coils, whatever they are, cooling foils. It's sci-fi, it doesn't matter. And now I'm just gonna right around these. And so when I do my weathering now, I'll just have a little bit of silver to pop off there. Be ahead of schedule. If I could persuade you both to come along by further funding you dig for another 3 years. Where'd you go? Where's that little rivet? Where you at, huh? Where you hiding, little rivet? Let me ask you something. Rick, you think you can keep them safe? You think you can keep Carl and Lori safe? You can't. I can. Think you know the rules, Shane? There are no rules. Minor internet personality does Walking Dead performance and impersonations while working on a Star Wars themed prop. You can't get this anywhere else, guys. Honestly, why would you want it anywhere else? Okay. Alright, let's start with some washes. We're going to need to make some washes, or use some washes. Right, so let's start with Nuln Oil, brought to you in part by Nuln Oil. It takes as long as it takes. Yeah, no, I try to tell myself that But again, just sometimes I'm like, I don't know. It's honestly probably my ADHD of like, hurry up, and finish this so you can do the next thing, and then this'll be fun, and like that type of thing telling me to go faster. When it's like it's not necessary. It's not anything that's required. This is a hobby. Hobbies should be relaxing. And sometimes I will force myself to make it not relaxing. And yeah, I make content because I like making content to share. And I do sometimes make a very, very nice small profit off of it. I'm not complaining about that. But yeah, sometimes I get myself, hyped up about the time frame that things are taking. And I'll put a puddle on the ground in front of that when this finally gets parked in place. We'll do a little almond oil in there. Just some in there. Places where grease and moisture might collect. And I'll put it on this panel, because why not? Looks like that panel should be greasy. Well, now we're starting to get somewhere. I think I'm just going to take whatever's left on this brush. Actually, I'll load this brush up. I'll go over these rivets with it and just brush down like gravity. And just let that grime kind of sink down. I'll let it stay in the areas, but it's like some of it's now in the rivet holes, and it makes them look like weeping rivets. And I dig that. So I guess I'll do that to this yellow too, just to help with the cohesiveness of the project. But I think one of the lucky things in my life is that I get to do this every day. I get to work on art, even if it's making things out of like trash. I get to do artwork every day, which is not something I ever thought I'd be able to do. So, for that much, mucho thankful. Because, like, when I was a young boy, my father took me into a city. No, when I was younger, I didn't think I'd be doing art every day. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I don't know, be not being able to do this. Not being able to take time, even a little bit of time each day, to just fucking focus on an art project like this. An ongoing art project, to boot. So, hell yeah to that. Cool. There's 1, 2, 3 block. Just the chair for a moment. So let's do some my favorite ink, burnt sienna acrylic ink, and by popular demand, a very wet brush and dirty paint water. And now we're going to close the Nuln Oil before I knock it over and spill the last of it. Set that up there. And we're gonna start adding that to this mess. There we go. Gross, greasy, grimy. Pull some of that this way so that if any of the light shines in a photo, you'll see some of that, and we'll put a little of that on the base of the bars, make it look kind of rusty right at the joins. The bars are toothpicks, by the way, in case anybody was curious. Just make it seem like they're doing a pretty good job to keep whatever out, keep people out or whatever, but there's still gross stuff that flows out of there. And like I said, I'll put a puddle down on the ground. Maybe I'll put a vent on the ground to look like maybe it's a drainage thing, so it just drips down and drains out, but and we'll just put a little bit of rusty in here. Just adds a little more color, a little more visual interest. Just let that dry like that. Just come meet this here, let that run down. Cool. Okay. Now let's add some. I'm gonna add some of this orange shade yellow. It's an orange yellow. Excuse me. First thing I'm gonna do is like load up my brush with it. More. Just pull some of that out of there and start adding a little bit in there. It's not yellow enough for me, so I need to pull some more out. There we go. Now we're starting to add layers of color. Cool. And got some lava orange here. Just a little bit. It's probably too much, but that's okay. Piece of sponge, I take my my alligator clamp helping hand stick that I made. Pinch a few more pieces off there so we got an uneven surface. Tap that sponge into there. Get that excess paint off. Cool. Now we go. For this, I'm going to do it flat, I think. I think I can. Well, I'll do it with a little bit of an angle. I'm just adding some brighter orange. Like I said, this is lava orange from Vallejo. Bellagio? Vallejo? We can also just come in a couple other spots. Tap in some orange. Just like surface rust. Maybe it's not something that gets a ton of moisture on it, but moisture may have collected there at one point or blown on it. There we go. Cool. I like to make sure that I turn it and rotate my piece of sponge so that I don't get like repeating patterns. Get a little yellow on there too. Tap, 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 tap. And then get a little orange on that end. Do a little tip, 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 tap. And then on the third corner, a little licorice. Oop, too much licorice. Way too much licorice. That'll work. So now I've got like a rotating mess here. So I can just put a little yellow there. Then we can lay in a little bit more orange on that if I'd like. And then we'll just add some suspicious licorice, black mold looking dabs of goop. Same over here. Just put some on this yellow panel, the black, and then come back over it with a little bit of yellow. And then touch in on it with some orange. It looks like we got a little rusty bloom going on that panel there. Can even bring it in a little bit more, closer to that. Cool, cool. Again, can just add some yellow, some orange. I think I'm gonna add some green, like make it look like there's some sludge coming out of there. Some green ooze. Go with moldy clothes. Disgusting slime. Why wouldn't we use disgusting slime? Timber. That's plugged up. Slimer, you gotta get out of the tube, buddy. Oh. Getting tired doing dumb shit like that. There we go. Okay. Disgusting slime. Take this brush, wet it a little bit. Take some of this disgusting slime here. I'm gonna pull some of it out. Gross. Let's add some more. Cool. It does. It just looks like a gross bit of goop coming out of there because it's sci-fi. But I'm going to call it for the night. I might revisit this with a little bit more yellow. 9 out of 10. Cardstock base for this wall. No. It's foam core. Foam core from the dollar store. The panels are the weird. These are EVA foam. This is from a bread clip. I just cut it and stacked it and sanded it into different pieces. Toothpicks for the bars, cardboard, and EVA foam for the rings around the pill bottle thing. Fruit pouch, cap, vintage sew-on button pieces. Snaps that I took the front and the back off and used for different things. Spice regulator from a shaker. PVC plumbing piece. Lid from said shaker. Beer, craft beer 4-pack rings. This U-shape is a piece from a toy jukebox, like a Hallmark Christmas ornament. Phone keys. HO scale. Piping. 3D printed piece off of a diorama that I purchased. This is from Raul at Diorama Accessories. Plastic off of like a Leonard truck. And then just other cardboard. This is cardboard from a cereal package. That's cardboard from cereal package. And yeah. So like I said, I'm going to let this sit. I may come back and add a little bit more. But I'm probably going to seal this up tomorrow and install it. So, what's up, Jabalong? But yeah, I am actually wrapping it up right now. I am a tired boy and I still have to work tomorrow, so that's always fun. But I hope you guys, if I don't talk to you, you have a safe holiday. If you don't need to, don't go out tomorrow night. It's always the #1 fuck around and find out. People drink, drive, get into wrecks. If you have like a expiration inspection on your truck or car or something like that, they'll try and pin you for that because they got to get their numbers up. So just don't go out there. You don't need to. Seeing your high school buddies pounding Guinness the night before Thanksgiving, not necessary. And better to have you safe and sound at home. And you can watch whatever you want on TV. But I do always want to thank you guys for tuning in. If it's your first time here, hit the like button, subscribe. We do this type of stuff all the time. We world build, we paint, we make things, we scratch, bash, kit bash. If you guys want to get stickers, get after me on Instagram, or you can go to Ko-Fi and just pledge $5 and shoot me your address, and I'll send off 3 of these to you. I hope you guys have an extra day off this week. Be well, be safe. Thank you again for watching, guys. Too sweet me.